No, you aren't in Hollywood or the Walt Disney Studios, but in Valencia, Spain, in the city of the Falleros, the artists who make fallas. Fallas are gigantic sculptures composed of figurines of all sizes made of wood, cardboard and papier-mâché. For each team, the days to come end a year of hard labor. Every year during the month of March, more than 370 fallas of every size and shape are exhibited for a whole week at all the squares and main crossroads of the city. Valencia is getting ready for 5 days of folly that will end in fire and tears. Indeed, every year, without fail, on the night of the 19th of March, whatever the day of the week, all the fallas become huge, purifying bonfires. The falleros have 3 days to set up their works of art at the location that was attributed to them. Here, on Pilar Square, the falla will be 25 meters high and fill a space of about 300 square meters. The team, led by Julio Monterrubio, will have to work day in and day out to be ready in time. Valencia, located on the Mediterranean Sea, is 2,000 years old and is the third city of Spain. The Turia River that used to cross the city was diverted because of huge floods in the 50s. Its bed is now home to beautiful gardens. At the break of day, there is a lot of commotion on Na Jordana Square. One of Julio's main competitors' teams is at work. They are the two favorites in the race for first place. Miquel Santa Eulalia oversees everything with great attention to detail.
I'm 55 and have been doing fallas for almost 40 years. I started when I was 14 or 15 with my father, who was in the same line of work.
Pedro, Miguel, José y Alejandro.
All 4 of my sons are sculptors and painters. The fallas are always criticisms of the social and political life. They're kind of satirical, like a caricature.
Oral tradition has it that in 1860, to honor St. Joseph and celebrate the return of spring, the carpenters of the city used to burn their unused materials in the streets. Then some of them thought of making scarecrows representing grumpy colleagues or a rival lover to add to the fire. These were the first ninos. Around 1889, the decision was made to stop making fun of neighbors and extend the criticism to social and political life. From 1934 on, as a remembrance of each celebration, the people elected the best figurine, which was to be saved from the flames. On each day of the festivities, in the afternoon, the traditional masclita is fired and the whole city comes to a stop. It's a well-orchestrated explosion of thousands of firecrackers. The objective is to make a symphony of noise that is as harmonious as possible. Every year, during the month of January, the queens of Valencia are elected after several rounds of voting. There is the Fallera Mayor, who is the main queen, and the Fallera Infantil, who represents the children. Both of them preside over all the ceremonies, accompanied by their courtiers. This year, Sandra has been chosen as Fallera Mayor among several hundred young girls.
As a child, I had already been Fallera Infantil. Last year, I was the Fallera Mayor of my neighbourhood, and this year, I'm the one for the whole of Valencia. Things couldn't be better. I feel I'm the representative of the city. I must pay attention to many things, accept the appreciation and stay close to people, and not be a queen too distant from them.
On Merced Square, as everywhere in Valencia, people are busy setting up the fallas. Each year, everything must be ready before the 16th of March at 8 a.m. This is the day for the artists, whose works will be submitted for the judges' appreciation. Today, they're worried as it's starting to rain.
They're all companions, like in a family. One of my sons is the sculptor. Julio, I don't like it when you're not fastened. Do it for your safety. What if anything happens?
A few meters away on Virgin Square, as on every Thursday during the last millennium, the apostles of the cathedral are silent witnesses of the water tribunal. It was created by the Arabs around 960 AD to define regulations for the irrigation of land, the use of canals, and to arbiter conflict. Paco, the alguacil or bailiff, sets up the ritual of this ceremony, something he's been doing for the last 20 years. The farmers of Valencia wait for the 12 strokes of midday, which mark the opening of the tribunal. Pepe likes this tradition, presided by 8 judges, each representing one of the main canals.
If someone cheats, the tribunal judges him. He's then fined. The guilty party can then also denounce someone who has overstepped the rules. Only the tribunal can decide how the water is to be shared. This is where you sign up to have the right to water. When I write my name down, it means that I paid for it. If someone wants to contest my right, he can't, because I signed myself up, and he didn't.
The Valencia plains are home to huge orange groves and rice fields, crisscrossed by numerous canals of different sizes. Each person has the right to water at a given day and time, according to the size of the piece of land he owns. It is now 2 days before the results of the competition. It's still raining.
We'll see if the sun comes out a little with the music. You've got to keep your sense of humor. Fallas are about humor. Between today and tomorrow, we've got to repair the damage. The problem is that with the weight of the water, everything is much heavier. And the wind can blow pieces away. It's not meant to take the extra weight. I'm disheartened. If you were Michelangelo, painting David or the Sistine Chapel, and in 2 days your work is destroyed because of the rain, how would you feel? Every brushstroke, every part of the falla represents a dream, a lot of effort, and a going beyond one's limits. I have a type of protection, an amulet. Where is it? I don't know. I left it in my car. I better go and get it.
Meanwhile, in the market underground, an exhibition of ninos, little characters that gravitate around the fallas, is taking place. Since 1934, each falla presents its best Nino. The many visitors write the number of the one they prefer on their entry ticket. Each one then very democratically slips his or her vote in an urn. The votes are then counted to designate the Nino indultat, meaning the one that will not be burned, but kept in the museum that houses the fallas. The 374 fallas of the city are dispatched in all the neighborhoods of Valencia, and each falla has its queen and her court. Thus, several hundred young girls from Valencia are falleras and wear traditional costumes and headdresses. Amparo is the queen of her falla and neighborhood. She has been a fallera ever since she was a child. Her mother is preparing her just as she's always done. The headdress, like the rest, is transmitted from generation to generation.
We use very expensive pieces of material. It can add up to 2 million pesetas. Her father is very proud, and even if it's a financial sacrifice, it makes us happy.
There are more than 100,000 families in Valencia that are part of the fraternity of falleros, that has its own rules and a year-round activity, such as collecting funds, selecting the artists that will make the falla, and electing the falleras. In this neighborhood, the queen of the children is Clara. What she loves above all is her costume.
It's very beautiful, and it will be useful when I'm older, because there is a lot of material underneath. The dress was made for my size. Later on, the hem can be brought down and it can be used again.
As in every neighborhood, Clara and Amparo start a mascleta, like the one on Town Hall Square. Each neighborhood also has its casal. It's the house of the falleros. These are the headquarters, a place to meet and work, also for leisure and celebration. Each fallero contributes financially to the festivities and the making of the falla. The tradition is to thank and honor these people for their generosity. The day before the arrival of the judges, it's still raining.
I'm going to work all night until the 8 o'clock deadline. We've got to hurry up as much as we can and do what is humanly possible. But I don't believe in miracles.
During the fallas, the Valencians live mostly at night. Each event is an excuse to celebrate. For example, the recorrida. The night before the judges come, to complete the fallas, the teams get their ninos and parade them in an animated march.
Today the weather is fine. The rain stopped. The amulet worked once again this year. It'll always be with me.
The day of the falla assessment has arrived. It's 8 a.m. Cabs carrying dozens of judges invade the city. At the end of the day, after deliberation, they'll elect the best falla in several categories.
Everything is allowed in Fallas, as long as the humour isn't rude and things are done intelligently. For example, if I look at the Titanic, using our traditional sense of humour, I'd separate the word in two, tita and nick. Tita is slang for the male attribute. By separating the word, there's an implication in how DiCaprio is supporting the actress. It has to be very subtle.
The children also have their fire competition called Fire Infantil, where the characters are of smaller size. When the prizes are given out, they march in traditional costume and almost all win a pennant.
I am the queen, and they are my courtiers. It's a little like in a kingdom. When all this is finished, we'll go down in history.
The daily mascleta will soon begin. Every day it is fired by a different company.
I learned it all from my father. Our company has been family-owned since 1890. My great-grandfather started it, my grandfather, and my father followed in his footsteps. The whole family works in the field. It's a family tradition.
On the 17th of March, for 2 days, more than 140,000 people will march in the streets of the city for the offering to the Holy Virgin. Many families will walk several hours to put flowers on the coat of the patron saint of Valencia. 25 tons of carnations and roses will be used. Amparo and Clara, like all the others, march with their court and orchestra to the sound of the Valencia hymn, which celebrates love, light, and flowers. The Fallas festivities extend to the whole region. However, the one in Valencia is the biggest and most popular. 3 million visitors from Spain and abroad are present during this extraordinary week. Fireworks are a popular art in Valencia, and at no time is it more obvious than during the Night of Fire. 4,500 mortars are necessary to create a fabulous show that 1 million people will attend. In the meantime, next to the churros and pumpkin donut stands, the prizes are given out. Like many others, Amparo has obtained a pennant for her fire. The winning team is waiting close by to receive the grand prize. Julio Monterrubio insists on showing us the amulet that brought him luck. The talent of artists such as Julio is used all over the world. Numerous carnival floats, like the ones in Rio or New Orleans, are designed by them. The fire of Najordana Square and Miguel Santa Eulalia only came in second place. Meanwhile, victory is celebrated at the Del Pilar Square Casal. It's midnight, and the Valencians head towards the gardens of the Turia River, where the famous Night of Fire is taking place. As every night during the week of the festival, the rivalry between neighborhoods which have organized fallas continues with music and food.
In spite of the rain, the musicians up there have continued to play, and it even seems that they stopped the rain and gave us the joy and strength, so that all ended well.
Today is the 19th of March, the apotheosis of the fire celebration with the Crema. At 10 p.m., all the smallest fires of the city will be burned, followed at the stroke of midnight by the bigger ones. As for the Fire del Pilar, its first prize will only earn it an extra half hour of existence.
I won't be there to see it. I'll go home 2 hours before. I'd rather remember it like this than see it in flames.
In half an hour, the Falla Infantil of Nahodana Square will be set on fire. 2 ninos are saved from the flames to comfort the falleras.
I don't want the time when the fire will burn to come. I have a fallera friend who just can't stop crying. I'm a little sad because everything is going to burn. I wish all this would last an extra week. Tomorrow I'll go to bed. I'll go to bed and cry.
Preparing the crema is meticulous work for the pyrotechnics experts. They must fill the fire with explosives, gas and firecrackers so that the huge sculpture literally implodes and collapses on itself. Burning the Fallas and Ninos means they are being freed from their satirical and critical charges. Symbolically, bad intentions are destroyed. For the people of Valencia, the Fallas mean constant renewal.